Welcome back, everybody. As you probably guessed from the title of the video, this is a video on Olight's flash sale and Black Friday sale. If you're somebody who hates Olight videos and you clicked on the video just to leave a snarky comment, you just exposed your IQ to the world. So there is that. All right, so we're gonna be going through the lights. I don't have everyone that's actually on the Black Friday sale. We're gonna be going through them, briefly touching on features, showing you guys the beam patterns here in just a second, and then we'll roll in the prices during the flash sale as well as the times of the flash sale. And I believe it starts on the 25th. If you're a VIP member, you can always purchase early. So there is that. So what do I think will be the most popular of my audience? For sure will be the Odin Minis. These are a weapon mounted light. They're designed that way. That's purpose driven for that use. It comes with an M-LOK mount. It also works with a 1913 mount that they have. It also works with any Surefire Scout mounts, and I do have a full review of it over on my main channel, so you guys can check that out if you want to see. We drop weights on it, bang it around in steel, put it underwater, all of those sorts of things. It should be relatively entertaining. It comes with a tape switch as well, which I'm not a huge fan of, but some folks will like that. Obviously, it has a rechargeable battery and it is tail cap rechargeable, and you can just use the tail cap if you don't want to use the tape switch on this. Comes in a few different colors as well. While we're on the subject of weapon lights, this is the Olight. This one here is the Baldr IR. I don't know if I'm saying that correct, regardless, but it is, as the name implies, an infrared light and laser. Excuse me, it's not a light and laser, it's an infrared laser. And then it also has a white light. And the thing about this that's different from any of the competitive options on the market that I'm aware of that are pistol mounted laser designators is that it doesn't kind of like sacrifice in terms of the white light output. The white light output is still just as good as the regular one here, so there's no difference in terms of the white light output. You just don't get the visible laser with this one, which is the IR laser, and this one here, obviously you get a visible laser option. And one thing I'm going to tell you, because we're going to talk about it here in just a second under nods, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like in terms of the laser designator. But one thing that's weird about this, and I think it's just the way they diffused it, is that on their site it doesn't say that it's an IR illuminator, but I can tell you it absolutely is, because there's a cone of illumination around it that's not, you know, the laser itself. So I think it's just diffused a little bit with this lens cap here, which gives it that cone. But regardless, they do not claim that it is an IR illuminator. Again, though, it kind of functions like one if you're taking longer shots. So there is that. Obviously, quick detach, as anybody who is familiar with the Olight mounting system knows, and it's paddle operated. If I actually turned it on, that would probably help. It's paddle activated, and you can use temporary or just permanently on and off. And then we have these two little lights here. This one obviously is an all copper version, so it's going to be heavier. And these are a light that came out, I think, 2 months ago. So it's not your traditional a light that looks like this, where you just have to work the button up front, which you still can if you want to. But it gives you the ability to run it tail cap, and you can also weapon mount these. I talked about that. I know some folks are running the UTG mount for these, and or the Vikings Tactics mount. That does work with these as well, and just using that rear button to activate it. Again, though, same exact light, just the copper, of course, is going to be heavier, but I know a lot of people really like the copper, especially as it gets that patina to it. It has the rechargeable tail caps as well, and the two-way switches, so that way you can carry it really however your heart desires. We already kind of showed this one here, but it's the Baldr Pro. So again, pistol mounted light with a laser option. You can turn it on and off. It has the switch there on the bottom, and it's powered by two CR123As. Comes with a Glock and 1913 rail insert there, so you guys can kind of pick whichever one your system works with and go with that. I'm laughing because this one is insane. So this one here is the Marauder 2. A lot of cool features going on with this one, as well as the original Marauder. Basically, it is a USB-C rechargeable light and power bank. It's a 5000 mAh power bank if you want to use it like that, so you can charge your cell phone on it, stuff like that, or you can just use it as a flashlight should you want to, and you can open and close it to seal it down there to keep it, you know, waterproof and all of those sorts of things. I like the edges out here, so you guys can't see the table, I don't think, but it won't roll away on you because it has those flat spots built into it. But it has two different functions. Number one, it has just a wall of light, is how I would describe it, that it can put out, or you can change it by the little switch right here in the middle to be just a super throwy light. And the amount of output this light puts out is you just can't really quantify it. You guys are going to see it here on camera, but I'm telling you, the camera does not do it justice at all. It's just absolutely fantastic. The way to adjust it is by this little wheel here. There's a little girl screaming. I don't know if you guys can hear that, my neighbor's daughter. But that wheel allows you to adjust the intensity of it, and it tells you the power as well on there. And I mean, it's insanely bright. But as you guys can see here, you got kind of a flood pattern to it. And then if you want to switch to the intense thrower there, and I don't know if it'll work during the day, but I don't think the camera's picking that up back there. But trust me, as you guys will see here in a second, it's got some candela. Speaking of candela, this guy here, the Javelot Pro or Javelot Turbo, is the highest candela light that I think I've ever held in my hand. We'll put the specs here on the screen so you guys can actually check it out. But what's cool about this versus just the original Javelot, which was just a straight thrower with that tail cap gas pedal, is that it also gives you the ability now to work through the modes on the side should you choose to do so. So my original Javelot, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what you could use these for, I actually gave to my neighbor, guy who you probably see on the boat a lot of times behind me, and he uses it for bow fishing. So he mounted it up on his bow, and with the light being as bright as it is, you can see kind of through the surface of the water, and he's just, you know, shooting carp left and right with it. You can use it as a searchlight. You can use it to blind someone if that's what you choose to do. I'd be willing to bet you could start a fire with it, and I'm not being hyperbolic with that. So perhaps from a survival standpoint there. And it is compatible with Olight's tape switches. If you guys wanted to run it on a gun, I guess you certainly could. If you were like shooting coyotes or hogs at night and you didn't want to go for a night vision type of setup, this will definitely do it. It'll illuminate a lot of stuff out to a very, very long distance. So there is that. Then we have the two kind of insular lights. This one here is the I1 rather, R2. It's USB micro rechargeable. It's a keychain light. So it has a low mode like that, as you guys can see. And then you can crank it up to high. It's definitely not a super high output light, but it's much, much brighter than your iPhone. And that's really kind of what it's competing with, obviously, on your keychain. And then we have this guy here, the i5T, excuse me. And it is a AA pattern powered light, and it is a low-high interface. As I always say whenever I do these videos, I wish it wasn't low-high. It should be high-low for the American market, but it's got that two-way clip and the new camo pattern as well. Enough yapping from me. Let's check out the beam pattern. For the new folks, the spot there where the wood fence meets the iron fence is approximately 35 feet away, and those trees there are about 40 to 50 depending on the individual tree. This is the output here from the Odin Mini on low, so you guys can get a good idea there of the beam pattern and the flood. And then you click it over to high, and it definitely ups that candela significantly. Here we have the output from the Winter 2, I suppose we'll call it, on low. You guys can get an idea there of the beam pattern, and bump it up there. Oops, if I could actually do it. Go to medium, then to high. Definitely a significant output difference. And then if I double click it, go into that turbo mode, and it's definitely pushing some power out there. And here we have the output from the Baldr IR, of course with white light mode on. You guys can get a good look there at that hotspot, and then the spill. Now we have the output from the Marauder 2 here on low. It's still pretty bright. I will just work up through the brightness, and that's insane. This is like a wall of light. Everything in front of me is super, super bright. It's probably washing out the camera, honestly, on manual settings, just because it's so bright. And then if we switch over the mode, that's the output you can get with the throw on there. Across the lake there, that's probably like 200 yards, and it's very, very visible. That's crazy. And here's the output from the Javelot 2 on low. You can get kind of an idea there of the beam pattern, but it is a thrower, if there ever was a thrower. So obviously very, very intense, tight hotspot. That hotspot's probably 4 or 5 feet right there at that distance. Of course, again, you can go across the lake. That's about 200 yards out there. and it's definitely lighting everything up just fine. So we're filming through an iPhone through the nods, and obviously it's going to be a lot clearer in real life, but as you can see out there, that fence, again, about 35 yards away, and these are Gen 3 nods, and we have a little bit of illumination out here tonight. We have some moon, but I'm going to go ahead and hit the light and laser, IR laser, and as you guys can see here, that's what it looks like with nothing, and then hopefully I can find it again. And one thing that is not coming across here on camera, I can tell you this, is that the laser is very discernible in real life, but here the illuminator's kind of, looks like it's kind of, there you go, you guys can see it better now, the laser there in the hot spot right in the center, and then that throw and the illumination right around it there, nice and tight in. To the human eye though, on the fence, it looks like that as well. You guys just can't see it, the illumination's blowing it out. But the laser is very discernible to the human eye in both backgrounds. Again, for the new folks, that wood line across the lake from me is about 110 yards away from here. And obviously we have some illumination out tonight. That's just what it is. I have my camera set to as close as possible to what I see rather with my naked eye. And that is the output of the Odin Mini on low. Crank it up to high. And you guys can see it's doing a really good job for a light of its size in terms of candela. That lot there was recently cleared out, and I'd definitely, with my human eye, be able to identify if somebody was standing over there or anything like that. Be a little bit tough to pick out animals in the trees. Might be possible, I suppose, depending on the size. Now, for comparison's sake, here is the light, the output on low from the Javelot, and I'm actually kind of surprised it's projecting out there, but it definitely is. But then again, we go on turbo, and that's just craziness. So without question, if somebody was standing in that field, obviously easily identify them. I'd be able to tell you what color their shoes were, what was in their hand, anything like that. I mean, it's virtually daylight bright in those spots there where the hot spot is. I mean, that's just nuts. That's a barn right there, or shed rather, excuse me, storage shed. I mean, if there was numbers or anything like that on it, I could easily read it. Again, this is a throw monster. Here we have the output from the Marauder 2. You guys can see down probably at the bottom of your screen. It's getting plenty of illumination up close, but it's not doing much in terms of throw. This, of course, is on the low mode. We're going to crank it up there, and look at that. That's crazy. I mean, again, just an absolute wall of light. I want to get that Javelot Pro out and see if it can actually compete with this in terms of candela. Alright, that's the difference. So that's the Javelot Pro, and then this is just the Marauder 2, guys. This is nuts. Output is crazy. I mean, it's just illuminating everything very, very well. Again, this is the Javelot Pro for comparison's sake in terms of intensity. Let me grab that Odin Mini as well for sake of just comparison intensity. And you can barely tell a difference at all turning on that Mini. I mean, this thing, obviously tons of flood, but I mean, the throw is impressive too. Again, here's the Marauder, and then we'll work it up through. And then we're going to switch the modes here to the thrower function. Look at that. That's craziness. Everything very, very easy to see there with that illumination. Again, I'm going to grab the Javelot. Where did I stick it? There we go. All right. So here is, of course, the Marauder 2 and the Javelot. I got to tell you, to my human eye, it's pretty darn close in terms of what I can see. Obviously, very different in terms of output, shape, and all that, but those are both very, very impressive candela monsters. From where we're at right now, that tree line across the lake's about 120 yards away, and this is what it looks like with the human eye. And then we'll come back here on the nods. So let's turn this laser on here, and there you go. As you can see, very sharp. Again, it's much crisper and clearer. Everything is. The image as well with the human eye, but I mean, if you wanted to go hunt hogs or something like that, you'd be able to easily pick them up at distance with this laser. I'm not sure if I said it during the beam pattern testing that you guys just watched, but really it's very hard to translate what you guys see on camera to real life. Like I was saying with the Marauder 2, it's night and day. What you guys saw on the camera definitely looks cool, but I'm telling you, in person, it is crazy the amount of light that comes out. Same thing would be true with the intensity that you're getting here with all of that candela. And then, of course, like we talked about with the under nods, that little diffuse area around the laser does act somewhat as an illuminator, but I think the king of this sail is going to be the Odin Mini, and I think this will probably be their #1 selling light ever. That's kind of my prediction in terms of the amount of size, weight, output, features, beam pattern, all of those sorts of things that you get with it. I think they're going to sell a ton of these. So if you're looking to pick one up for under $100 right now during the sale, really hard to complain about that. So that is pretty much it. Again, there will be a link down below in the video description. That is an affiliate link. It is not, Olight does not pay me to do these reviews, but that is an affiliate link. I'm sure people are screaming shill already, but hey, nothing I can do about that. People want to watch these videos, some people don't. Free choice, free market, do with that what you will. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, following, liking, etc. Wherever you're watching this, I appreciate it. If you're not already, check me out on Parlor. That social media is up and coming for sure. And I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.